I'm Algenon Cash, and this is Eat, Drink Triad, your number one source for what's happening right here in the Triad in the food and beverage community. Always excited to bring you a great conversation and introduce you to someone that you may or may not know that's right here in the food and beverage community, here in your backyard. Before we do that, I always like to thank all our great sponsors who are producing this program. None of this would be possible without you all. Thank you for sponsoring Eat, Drink, Triad and for getting behind the restaurants and bars throughout our community. We really appreciate it. When I was growing up, I've always grown up around food. And when I was growing up, my grandmother, I used to say that she had one of the best restaurants in all of Winston-Salem, but no one actually knew about it because she was hustling plates. And people would come from all over the city on Friday nights, on Saturday, on Sunday. My grandmother was a real hustler. We called them hustlers. They call them entrepreneurs now. That's the right terminology is entrepreneur. But she was a real hustler. I mean, she did hair on the weekends. She baked cakes. She made plates. As many know, she was also the manager at Zesto, which is what inspired me to try to do something with that concept. But I just remember people coming from all over wanting Miss Irene to make them a plate. Now, the practice still continues. We just don't hear and talk about it as much any longer. I know earlier this year, or actually last year, there was a story that came out about the secret taco house that was on the south side of Winston-Salem, where there was a Hispanic family actually making food from their kitchen and selling it to the public. Unfortunately, here in North Carolina, we don't have any what they call cottage rules, which allows that in mass. But we do have people, food entrepreneurs, all over the community that's constantly hustling plates. And that's actually one of the ways that they actually get started before they even do their first food truck or open their first restaurant. So today I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Chef Terrell Anistead, who's come out of Willow's. Haven't actually seen you, brother, in person in a very long time since COVID hit, but I keep up with you online. How's it been going, Chef?
Man, it's been going great, man. No complaints, man. Everything is just rolling right now. So everything is great, man. I haven't missed a beat. Haven't missed a beat. So
that is what we want to hear. But before we get into the hustle part, I'm going to start off at Willow's, man, because you're the sous chef at Willow's Bistro here in downtown Winston-Salem. For my audience, as you know, Willow's was the restaurant pick of the week a couple of weeks ago. So go see Chef Nikki Farrington down there. She's doing a great job. I actually had her flash fried calamari and her hickory smoked wings. Both were just tremendous. So go see her at Willow's. But Chef, when you were there, you were working under the famed Chef Travis Myers, North Carolina Chef of the Year. How was that experience being at Willow's and just working under someone as talented as Chef Travis?
man, it was amazing. Like fresh out of school, I actually went to Triad Community Kitchen, through Chef Bacon. So fresh out of school, man, like I was just lucky enough to end up with somebody like Travis. But I tell a lot of people, like, especially like the younger chefs these days, like it's very important to end up under a chef who's willing to teach you, who's willing to let you get just as big as he is. You like force within the community. So like it was amazing, man, because he just gave me a chance just to spread my wings, man. It was always, how can I make my crew better? Travis is probably one of the most humble guys you'll ever meet. Like you'll never know he was chef of the year because he'll never tell you unless one of his crew members or somebody tell you. But like, man, I just learned so much, like not just cooking, just man, life wise. Like the first thing he told me when I started working there, the first day actually, he told me, I can teach you how to cook, I can teach you how to clean, I can teach you how to wash a dish, break down the fish, but the one thing I can't teach you to do is how to be a good person. And that's just something that I've taken with me within my everyday life. Like you can expect this out of people, but you can't always tell if a person is going to be just the right cup of tea for you. So he preaches that to his own crew, just doing the right thing all the time if somebody looking or if somebody's not looking. So like, far as the things I learned with the food, like is amazing. But far as the life lessons he's taught me, man, he's given me so many opportunities, just like opened so many doors for me. Like this is why
Yeah.
I'm here talking to you now. So just through
Yeah, and you're right, man. Chef Travis used to come by Zesto all the time. I never knew he was actually Chef of the Year. He never mentioned it. I actually ended up
yeah,
reading it somewhere, and then when I saw him again, I congratulated him. So he's a really humble guy.
yeah,
You all had a really and not had. I mean, they still have a really great team at Willows, but not the same team that was there before. It was Chef Travis. It was obviously yourself, Ryan Oberly was one of the managers over there at the time. And then all of a sudden, I guess right around the time of COVID, that just sort of came to an
yeah,
end, and the band got broken up. What was that
yeah.
emotion and that feeling like the past year of not being at Willows and not having that gig in the last year?
Man, it's been, I ain't gonna say it's been tough because I've had the opportunity to work with like a lot of other chefs. I've had a chance to work with Tim Grandinetti, Chef Bacon, Chef Vanessa while she was out there at Providence. So like it was tough because man, you just missed the group aspect, your team. And like for me, I was out there at Willows for 5 years. So a lot of people there, we had built relationships, man. We knew our kids knew each other. So it was like it's tough trying to like having to walk away from a situation that you've been so comfortable in. But sometimes it takes for everybody just to go off and do their own thing just to see how much we really do need each other and see how much we really do complement each other. Because like far as the one thing when it was at Willows, it was about family. So if something ever came up with someone's family, like look, go take care of that, go handle that. So it was always great working in a place where it was understood, like, look, this person have kids, so you never know when this emergency might pop up. So it was just like that's what you miss the most, like the camaraderie and just being in the kitchen and going to war with your team in the kitchen. Like, but I found a way to, keep myself busy and everything. But just the main point, like, I just missed the team.
Well, you have certainly kept busy. I keep up with you on Facebook and all the great pictures and everything you've got going on. I do want to put a quick plug in for Chef Grandinetti
Oh,
over at Springhouse Restaurant, Kitchen, and Bar. They were last week's restaurant pick of the week. So if you haven't went by to visit him, do so, and make sure you do try the firecracker shrimp with pimento cheese grits. I promise you, it tastes
oh
just
yeah,
as good as it sounds. And later this summer, look for the Dr. Brownstone's Love Festival to return,
oh
which
yeah.
is hosted by Chef Grandinetti. We're going to have him here on the show on Eat Drink Triad here soon to talk about that event. So glad to hear that you landed down there for a brief moment, Chef Terrell. But you're an entrepreneur, you're a hustler. You kept going. I know you used to sell some bacon jam to us at Zesto for our Mac burger,
Was
and
that?
still wish I had a little bit of that bacon jam that you used to bring by. But you didn't just stop, man. You actually started figuring out a way to hustle plates, as I call it, right? I
Yeah,
mean, to just
yeah.
keep working within your trade and your skill. Talk a little bit about what that experience has been like, not just cooking in a restaurant kitchen, but being back at home and then having
Yeah.
more the entrepreneurial aspect of having to sell those plates.
And see, okay, so the crazy thing about that is like I went through a stretch of like 2 or 3 months. Like after COVID hit, everybody was out of work. And it was tough because as a chef, like we don't get that type of time with ourselves. So, like, man, I had a chance to recognize, like, man, I struggle with this situation, I struggle with this, like, but because I never had that time to actually have to sit down and like focus on myself and realize, like, what am I gonna do now since work has stopped? So, I just started thinking, like, I went through a 2 month, 3 month period where I'm just like, man, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm not used to this. Man, I had to get used to having this free time. And then I just thought, like, well, like when my sister brought it to my attention, she was like, well, why don't you sell your own plates or something? Because I always used to make salmon, shrimp, and grits for her at her house. So I would go over there and make the food or whatever, and they loved it so much. So she was like, well, why don't you try to sell that plate right there? Because I had a couple of people asking me about it. So after about a week or two, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So I ended up posting a picture of what I was gonna be selling. And I had a great response, just off of the picture, like everybody wondering like when I'm gonna do it or just whenever. So I ended up doing the first plate sale and it went amazing. Like it went amazing, sold out. you know, had some big time people come see me, had John Bobby come check me out, had Peyton from Mission, had
Oh,
Nikki Miller.
wow.
Yeah, so man, I had a couple of I had a couple of big hitters come check me out. So like after doing that, I was like, wow, like I was shocked because it was just shocking to see like how the community support each other, because I wasn't shocked that like I sold out of food, or I was more shocked that who came and bought food, because I wasn't expecting those type of like big time chefs to come out and support it. So once I did that one, I was like, man, you know what? So I have this thing I do with my turkey roulade. And so I said, man, you know what? I'm gonna do Thanksgiving plates, man, the next go round, because why just wait to Thanksgiving just to eat Thanksgiving food?
Oh, yeah.
And like I already know people like, especially in the South, soul food is our thing down here. So the second one I did, man, I did the Thanksgiving plates, and I did it where either you could get two sides, or you could get just a full blown Thanksgiving plate where you get everything included for a certain price. And that one went well, sold out of that. And you know, after that, I started finding my niche. And then like as soon as I started doing the plates, and then word got out, and then people want private chef dinners, and things just took off from there. So after about 2 or 3 months of trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I actually found my niche, and was like, you know what, take these chef skills and just use them, promote yourself, because I still had my following where people was reaching out, seeing what was going on with me. And, you know, some would reach out about Travis, but I tell them like, well, this is what I got going on. I have these dinners I'm doing. I do a catering for you. I can. So like,
no, you just went full blown into food entrepreneurship. And, you know, I tell so many people that when COVID hit, we all had to figure out a way to pivot and, you know, try to go into a different direction. I know for us over at Zesto, you know, Zesto was a casualty of COVID. We shut down in July with the hope that we could get back open, but never did. But we had to pivot, and we had to go in different directions because the pandemic sort of required it. You know, Chef, there may be someone out in my audience that's listening to this conversation today that may say, you know, I know how to cook, or you know, whenever we have Thanksgiving dinner, they always want me to bring the potato salad or the sweet potato pie or whatever that favorite dish is. Someone's listening to this and thinking about trying to get into being a food entrepreneur. What's your quick advice for them?
Well, my first piece of advice is make sure you clean. You know, make sure you're clean. Like cleanliness is one of the biggest parts of cooking, because you got to be clean. But just go for it. Like if you really feel like you have a passion for it, and you really feel like you're good at it, and so many people, because the thing with me, it took for so many people to tell me like, man, you can really cook, for me to start believing it, man. You know, so if you already have people telling you like, oh man, you ought to try to get your own business or do it, like listen to them, because they're probably telling you the right thing. But it's just like, just know what you want to do and go for it. Like stick to your style. Like that's the main thing. Stick to what you do. Like it's easy to go online and look at what this person is doing and what this person is doing, but know what you want to do. Like, you know, because we all have our own lane, because I don't cook like Travis, or Travis don't cook like we all have our own lane, but it's important to find what it is that you do best first.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to sell your product, you got to figure out what you do best first. So once you figure out what it is that you do best, then you build off of that. And then like, man, if you want to sell a product or just whatever, see how well it does the first go round. So if you do well, like, you know, build off of that momentum. Even if you don't do well.
You're just saying, just be very clear about what you want to do, and you know, obviously don't be afraid to just go ahead and get started and get after it. You've also branched out your own cooking style. You've gotten a lot more into baking, doing some cakes, not just trying to work the grill and do some of the stuff that you did inside of Willow's. What's that experience been like as you try to grow your skills and take on new methods of cooking?
Man, just go for it. You know, because like that's something I realized that I needed to fine tune was my baking skills, because like it's rare that you're gonna find any chef that either loves to just cook or either loves to bake. Like there's no like you'll never see like a chef that's really like, man, I love to bake and I love like jumping on the grill. Like it's either one of the two. But as a chef, you gotta be like well versed in these areas. Like you don't have to be a Brittany from the Humble Bee or something like that, but just know how to, if a customer asks you for like some type of dessert or something, just know how to do something. So that's one thing I noticed within myself, like I needed to work on, like, because I just didn't want to just be known for making all these fine dishes and things of that nature. And then if somebody want a dessert, well, let me send you to this person. Like,
what's been the greatest challenge trying to learn how to bake? What's tested your patience the most?
Man, just the not knowing of how it's turned out, because I get my steps and all of that. I get all my steps and all of that together. And then, man, it's crazy because with baking, you can misread one step and have to start it all over again. And, so that's just been it's just having patience. Like that's been the biggest thing is my patience, because if I try something and then it don't exactly come out how I really want it to be, then I got to go back to the drawing board and be like, well, did I do too much of this? Or, man, it's all about just trying to repeat your steps, man. If you mess up, just get back on and do it again. So like that's my patience.
Keep going. Persistence is what I'm hearing from you. I mean, whether it's persistence in the restaurant, persistence with whatever your food business is, whatever your hustle is, even developing your skills, just continue to be persistent. I'm going to run out of time here in a little bit, but I want to hit on this because you came out of Willow's, you connected with Chef Travis. Obviously, you all departed. You've continued to work. You've continued to stay busy. I mean, you're out here hustling plates. You're doing private chef catering. I know you were doing some pop-up events at one time with Chef Ashley Hardesty over at Forsyth Seafood. So, I mean, you're doing a little bit of everything, but it's not too long away. We're going to see you back in the kitchen. I ran into Ryan when I was at Willow's that night. He told me 600 degrees. It's coming to Bailey Park soon. You've already told me you're going to be working with Chef Travis at 600 degrees. You want to break any news today, man? I mean, any opening dates, or what can we look for on the menu? I mean, give us a little something, Chef, to hold us over.
Well, of course, we still gonna like have our signatures, like the things that we do the best, but like just keeping it local, man. Still working with all the local farmers, local purveyors, and just keeping everything local, fresh. Hopefully, just give people just different foods that you just can't get every time you go out on the town. So far as the opening day, we still working on that, man, because just with the whole process, a lot of things get pushed back with COVID. Like we had a lot of things getting custom built, and then that got on hold. So like just waiting, man. We just playing the waiting game right now. It will be soon, though. It will be soon.
Are we thinking this year?
Oh yeah.
This year. Okay. So, all right. Yeah. We 2021, 600 degrees, Bailey Park. The band will be back together again. Yes. Chef Travis, Chef Terrell, Ryan Oberly. I am looking forward to it. I can't wait to be down there. If you guys have some kind of a soft opening, hope my name makes that guest list some kind of way, because you guys are doing great things. Real fast, man. What's in the future for Chef Terrell, man? Are we going to wake up one day and you're running a restaurant, or what do you see yourself doing long term?
Right now, I just want to long term. I just want to build my own company up, Hazel May, where I'm doing like my private dinners and my caterings, things of that nature, still while working at 600 degrees, because it's just, I feel like I still have so much to learn from Travis. Because I've had a lot of people tell me, well, why don't you try to go to a bigger city or do this? But Winston has shown me so much love, man. I just want to give back to the community and just stay here for a while, like at least the next 10 years, man, and just build and build and build in this community, man, because I've had a chance. Well, hopefully I can get back to it, because I've had a chance to do the Kids Cooking Coalition, where I was cooking with ages, I think it was ages 8 through 11. But man, we had to do it virtually, but I've really enjoyed doing that aspect. So I really want to get into a little more cooking with the kids this year. Hopefully with everything, man, trying to open back up, hopefully we can do some face-to-face cooking with them, man, because that was probably one of the best cooking experiences that I've ever had, man. And it's just, man, you learn so many other things during the pandemic, man. We learned so many other avenues we can go, man. And it's just, I'm just trying to take full advantage of it this year, man. So,
well, Chef, we appreciate everything you do in our community, man. We know you've been over at Triad Community Kitchen, or we've even with Chef Bacon over the Providence program. We did through our Triad Food and Beverage Coalition in partnership with Habitat for Humanity and Providence Kitchen. We rolled out a youth culinary arts program this summer, and very excited about that. We got some really cool people participating, including Chef Ebony Warfield over at Six and Vine, Sammy Shabazz with the Big Apes food truck, and as well as Sabrina Wingo, who owns Taste of the Triad. They're all part of that program. If you have not done so, go check out YouTube. Make sure you're following Eat, Drink, Triad on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. If you go to YouTube, you will be able to see a couple of new videos that we've got up. One is with Vivian Joyner, who's the owner of Sweet Potatoes. She is reacting to High on the Hog, which is a docuseries that was released by Netflix. And then in last week's Eat, Drink, Triad show, the podcast, you can hear Chef Ebony Warfield react to that docuseries as well. The podcast is available on Apple, Pandora, Spotify, or wherever you like to download your favorite podcast. Again, thank y'all for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors. Make sure you stay tuned to Eat, Drink, Triad. This is your number one source for what's happening in the food and beverage community right here in your backyard. And until next time, y'all stay locked in.